Hammond, and I'm playing Tom Wingfield. I guess I first became aware of the Glassman. I read it in high school, I think my senior year in high school, and I think I tried to do a monologue from it in a class, and that was probably my first understanding of it. I thought I just remember being really struck by the familial dynamic of it and how there's so much tension and also so much love at the same time. It was just kind of something that seemed really true to me, which is probably a reason it's lasted so long. Probably, it's a 60, 80-year-old play almost, so, and we're still doing it, so, yeah. Oh, yes, Tom works in a warehouse. He is a aspiring poet. Well, I guess he's a poet, but he's currently subject to writing poems on the lids of shoe boxes instead of in the publications like The New Yorker. So he's not very pleased with where he is at this point in his life. This is also his kind of play. He's coming back at this play, looking back on this time in his life as a memory from an older age. And I think he's probably looking back from a person who is roughly my age, who's 30 something, and then he was probably in his early 20s during the time of the memory. So it's about him kind of playing between those two times and working that out for himself and for the audience. I think what's always surprising, anytime with Tennessee Williams, what's always surprising is the way he uses language is it's unlike anybody else. I mean, Tennessee Williams, you can hear a sentence Tennessee wrote, and you know it's immediately Tennessee Williams. Just the way he uses the words, the way it's not quite exactly how anybody else does it. It's a little bit odd. It's very poetic and beautiful, and it just always catches your ear. And so that's always the surprising thing when you're working on his work. I'm lucky. It's my second play I've gotten to do of his. The most challenging aspect of the Glass Menagerie probably is, well, there's a lot of historical references. So you have to go back and learn a lot, I think, about the time period, and I think it's about the time right before World War I in the 30s, so going back and understanding kind of where America was before that. Yeah, I think takes some understanding, because it was a much different country before World War II than it is now, than it was after. Yeah. Oh, Tom and I are both dreamers. I think he goes to much greater lengths to fulfill his, I think. So he's he's probably a much better poet than I am. But I think I might have a little bit better handle on maybe alcohol and those things, hopefully. Well, I think we are at a pretty similar point in history to when they were talking about in the 30s, which is when the memory of the play happens. I think I see a lot of similarities there. The eve of World War II, the eve of something about to happen. It certainly feels like we're going through a time period of great change, and I think that's what that time period was for them. It's funnier than you think. It's funnier than you remember. I think that's something that's lost about this play, and lost about Tennessee Williams. I think he's really known for his pathos, but he's a deeply, deeply funny man, and that always comes across in his work, and it's a real joy to do. So, and it's always a great joy to do his work in the South. And it's a great joy to do any Southern playwright's work in the South, but particularly his work in the South. I've seen his plays in Chicago and in New York and other places, and the audiences down here, they react in a way that's so much more vocal responses and things like that. I think it's the audience that best understands him.